Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We will start the 3 days of the training on gender responsive budgeting. This is an online training, as you have seen in Zoom, and we have available translation. You can see, can you see my screen? I think yes.
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 For the Serbo-Croatian language, you can choose Chinese. You have a translation at the bar at the end of the Zoom. You have the translation interpretation button, and you have to choose Chinese for this language. And for Macedonian, you have to choose French. For Romanian, you have to choose Spanish. For Albanian, you have to choose German. Okay. However, you have to come back all to the plenary session to do your presentations a little bit in English if you can. If you cannot, we can hear you in the translation channels. So I'm sorry that I'm not with my video on because of these security issues. I have closed in my laptop the video, and in my computer I don't know how to return it back. But you will see me after my presentation because I will open it in my cell phone, which has this option. So please, there are some rules we have to follow. Everybody should should mute the microphone because it's an echo. Everybody close the microphone and open it only when you want to speak. So, Albana and Esmeralda here are for your assistance. If you have something, you have to chat with them while I'm doing my presentation, because during the first part of this training, I will do my presentation. The training is a part of a project with the title Gender Budget Watchdog Network in Western Balkan and Republic of Moldova. The overall objective of this project is to improve CSO participation in policy and budgeting process in Southeast Europe and Republic of Moldova by using gender budget watchdog reporting and networking. This project has some specific objectives, which are to strengthen the capacity of CSOs to use gender-responsive budgeting tools, to evaluate the correspondence of policies and budgets with the needs of men and women, to develop a network for effective policy advocacy, knowledge and information sharing, and strengthen government accountability, to engage citizens and contribute to policy change, leading to gendered reform of public finances. The target group of this project are the civil society organizations in the 7 countries, and the beneficiaries are the citizens. The project partners are Center for Research and Policy Making from Macedonia, which is the lead partner, the Gender Alliance for Development Center in Albania, which I represent, and I am Mirela Archimandriti. The Center for Civil Society Promotion from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Please close your mic. Kosovo Women's Network from Kosovo, Women Action from Montenegro, Gender Knowledge Hub from Serbia, and Keystone Moldova from Moldova. This is the short presentation before starting this session and this training. So I need now from any of you to do a presentation of yourself, a short, very short presentation, name and the name of the organization. Thank you. I will assign you in order not to have Albana, you can start.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Albana Conchi. Work as a project coordinator at Gender Alliance for Development Center. Thank you very much for being here today.
Tamara.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tamara Radovanovic Angilkovska. I'm coming from Resource Environmental Center, Republic of North Macedonia.
Thank you. Zoica.
Hello, everybody. My name is Zoita Bardi, and I came from New Bridges Barat organization. Thank you.
Okay. Ines.
Da, sada imamo Ines.
Hi, can you listen?
Da, da li možete da me čujete?
Sorry, Milica, you are with the participants. You have not joined. Please, Milica, stay connected.
Okay.
I'm assigning you again. Okay, Ines Ahmed.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Ines, and I'm coming from the Roma Women and Youth Association Vuludi from Skopje.
Thank you. Amela.
Ja sam tu, je li se čujemo?
Hello, can you please introduce yourself?
Je li se čujemo?
Okay. Then Elda.
Hello, I am Elda. I'm from Albania and work like a project coordinator in New Impact.
Belissa.
Hello, I am Belissa. I'm part of the organization Zărici Tatar. I'm a new member of the staff. Actually, Benada would be here today, but she couldn't, and she will be able to attend the other meetings, so I'm attending this one today.
Okay, Naila.
Hey. Hi, everyone. I'm Naila Selima Krasnici. I'm the project coordinator and have joined 3 months ago the Kosovo Women's Network, Kosovo. And I'm glad to be here with you today and the next days.
Thank you. Makedonka.
Hi, my name is Makedonka Dimitrova, General Secretary and Policy Analyst in the area of energy and renewable resources as part of the Macedonian Center for Energy Efficiency based in Skopje, Macedonia.
Thank you. So Aurora.
Hi everyone, my name is Aurora Majarai. I am a researcher at Kosovo Women's Network. It's a pleasure to be here today with you.
Okay, and Andela.
Hey everybody, I am Angela Radovanovic from Association of Youth with Disabilities of Montenegro.
Okay, Ermira Ferizi.
Hello everyone, my name is Ramira Ferizi and I came from Kosovo Women Initiative based in Jakova, Kosovo. I am the project coordinator in this organization. I'm glad to be here.
Ernera Dušica.
Hi everyone, my name is Ernera and I come from Kosovo Women's Network.
Thank you. Ludmila.
Hello.
Yes.
Bună ziua. I'm Ludmila Verlan from Moldova.
Yeah.
I'm president of pot spun în română ca să nu mă... Sunt președintele Asociației Inginerilor de Instalații din Republica Moldova.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Ahmed, sorry, I'm not pronouncing you.
Не знам дали ме слушате? Јас. Дали ме слушате?
Hello? Kimet, I don't know from where you are, and you just present yourself. Present yourself, that's it. I'm in your organization.
Да, јас сум Кајмет Амет. Доаѓам од Ромска асоциација за жени и млади во луди од Скопје, Македонија.
Okay, thank you. Marinela? Marinela, okay. Etleva?
Hello everyone. I am Etleva Mayushai from Kosovo. I work as a project coordinator at Kosovo Women's Network.
Okay, we have another Etleva here. Thank you, Etleva from Kosovo. We have Etleva from Albania.
Sorry. Hello everyone. I'm Etleva working for General Alliance for Development Center. I have almost 3 years working for this organization as finance officer.
Thank you. Donieta? Nerina?
Hi everyone, I am Donieta Berisha and I work at Kosovo Women's Network.
Thank you, Donieta. Nerina?
Hi everyone, I am Nerina Gure. I work as a researcher and project coordinator at GBWN. We have been working with GRB since 2015. Can't wait to meet everyone else.
Honestly, I lost now because the participants, I tried to follow a link, but now they are entering between. So everybody who remained without presentation can do it one by one. Like Esmeralda, you can start, for example. Yeah, Marina, yes.
I'm sorry, I had to mute my microphone. This is Esmeralda Hoja, Project Coordinator of Gender Alliance Development Center in Albania. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
HI.
Maria. We have with us Maria. As I told you in the beginning,
Hello.
The Center of Maria is the lead partner in this project, and Maria will be the next trainer after me. Maria, would you like to present yourself? We are at the presentation phase.
Hello, I don't know English very well, but I'm in institution Dragol. I'm from institution Dragol.
Yeah, thank you, Marina.
You're welcome.
Zlatko, do you want to present yourself?
Sure. My name is Zlatko Simonovsky. I'm coming from the Center for Research and Policy Making as a project coordinator. I'm here to represent the organization team organization that Maria will deliver the presentation from.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. We have a request from Ines for interpreter in Macedonian to speak louder or closer to the mic. Please do it.
Can I? Me, Milan?
Hello, yeah.
Okay. Hello from Serbia. You organize a wonderful show, and this is how we vote. Albania, 6 points. Kosovo, 7 points. North Macedonia, 8 points. Moldova, 10 points. Yeah, thank you.
And you are?
In Bosnia and Herzegovina?
Bosnia and Herzegovina are 1 million points. Okay,
Thank you.
And now, hi, I am Milan from Serbia, from Center for Civil Society Development Protecta, but you can remember only Protecta. We are from the city of Niš, South Serbia. We exist 22 years, organize more than 100 projects, and thank you for this wonderful training.
Thank you so much, Milan. You brought the joy in our first day of the training.
Girls and boys, you have a wonderful smile. Please smile all the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Who's next after Milan? Who remained?
Myself?
Yeah, Natalia.
Yeah, after Milan's presentation, I think it will be difficult for anyone else to be.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Milan, you had to start this presentation session. My name is Natalia Kožukaru. I am from Republic of Moldova, and I represent Keystone Moldova, one of the partner organizations of this project. And I wish all of us good luck.
Okay, do we have from Bosnia organization here? Partner in the project?
Yeah, I'm here. It's Mersiha from Center for Civil Society Promotion, and I just took over the project from Belma. So
Okay.
actually, I'm officially taking over July 1st.
Nice.
And yeah, I hope we're gonna cooperate in a quality manner, I guess. And I'm really, really looking forward. I already attended one training, but as just sort of a person who's overviewing if everything is working technically last time when Belma organized it. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say today.
Great. Well, who else remains?
Ivanovic from Montenegro. I'm coming from Initiative of Youth with Disabilities of Boca. Thank you for being here.
Miroslava, can you put the camera a bit down? Because we don't see you. We see the ceiling.
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Okay. Who else is?
I will.
Okay. Yeah, you. Go.
Okay. Hi, my name is Maria. I come from Macedonia. I work for the Center for Research and Policy Making, and I'm one of the initiators of this group. I'm very happy to meet you and that our group is growing from day to day. I am happy to see the smiling faces since this morning. I hope it's not raining in your country, and that even if it's raining, we will bring sunshine to this couple of days through the training. I will speak today and tomorrow on the training, so I will see you for 2 days. I'm happy to do that.
Okay, I think that we have finished with all the presentations, or
Not yet.
do we have...
Not yet.
Okay, yes, yes.
Let me introduce myself as well. My name is Irina Sandu. Yes, I'm also coming from the Republic of Moldova. I represent the East Europe Foundation, and my position is the program officer. So wish us all good luck, and nice to meet you all.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, Irina.
Thank you.
Hello. I think I left. My name is Amina Berbic. I'm coming from Bosnia-Herzegovina, and I'm representing a women organization, Mosaic of Tradition and Culture, here in Bosnia, and I'm project coordinator and finance officer.
Okay, great. Thank you. Macedonia, you already...
Hello. I would like to also introduce myself, Milena Manova Ilic, President of REC, Resource Environmental Center, North Macedonia. I'm happy to be here. This is first project I've been working with related to gender issues. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello, I also want to introduce myself. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm Milieta Debrani from Kosovo Women's Network. Thank you.
Thank you, Milieta.
Добар ден. Ако може и аз да се представам. Јас сум Наташа Доковска, доаѓам од Македонија, од новинари за...
Sorry.
Sorry.
Since you are speaking in your language, you have to choose...
Ќе зборам на англиски, не е проблем.
Okay. Okay.
No, okay, I will speak in English, sorry. Hello, my name is Natasha Dokovska. I'm a program director in Journalists for Human Rights. I'm coming from Macedonia.
Thank you. We are 44 now. I think we have already presented everybody here, or am I wrong? If
No,
Mina.
yes, probably I left. I'm Mina Damjanovic and I come from Red Macedonia.
Thank you. Okay, so I think it's time to start. You know that we have, I will present right now the introduction to gender equality concepts and gender responsive budgeting concepts. So I will try to keep my presentation for 30 minutes until 10 a.m. I don't know, in Moldova, you will be 11 a.m. Sorry about missing the time differences, but I will adjust the agenda for tomorrow for Moldovians in order to be okay. Then you will have
everyone, so it is okay, don't bother.
Okay, thank you, Natalia. We have, after the presentation, you have the possibility to do questions and answers. And then I will explain you a simple homework, a simple exercise for taking you with you home and presenting during the next day. This is overall. Then 10:30 it is a break until 11, and on 11 sharply you have to enter the meeting again. You are free to enter the meeting and choose the language that you wish to listen to the presentation. All the presentations are in English, and please, everybody during the presentation, keep your mic mute. Okay? Thank you. So let's start. Okay. Okay. During this session, as I mentioned, you will have presentation, group discussion, working groups at the end, but this will be home-based work because of the conditions that the Zoom is giving us and this kind of meeting online is giving us. This training was planned to be organized in Albania. And I'm sorry about that because Albania will offer you a fantastic, we were planning to organize this in Durrës, in Seaside. I'm sorry telling you this now, but because of COVID. I hope that everybody is healthy and we will have other possibilities to organize this kind of activities in the future. The objectives of this session that I will represent is understanding main gender concepts, understand the difference between gender and sex, consider how gender roles impact participation, to create a common understanding of the meaning of gender equality and gender responsive budgeting, to introduce some basic gender concepts and gender analysis tools, and to familiarize you with how to read the budget from a gender perspective. You will have some handouts during the entire, at the end of this 3-day session. And the key terms that you will listen more or less during this time is gender and sex, gender equality, gender mainstreaming, gender analysis, state budget, gender responsive budgeting. So the main gender basic concepts are sex and gender, gender equality, gender mainstreaming, gender analysis, gender roles, diversity among women, women's issue, gender-based discrimination, gender-based violence, sexual harassment and violence, and gender pay gap. There are many other gender concepts that are being entering time after time and been developing, but you all should know that we start to talk about gender not so many years ago. So there are some, I will mention after that, some milestones when we start to talk about gender issues, about women empowerment, and about how, in our case, the budgets can be gender friendly in order to discuss the concepts of diversity and the possibilities that women and men can have when we separate some finances around the state budgets. Is like in home, like we do our separation of budget in home when it's come to fulfill the needs of our family and the needs of boys and girls that we have as children. So we try to keep balance, right? So the same thing must happen to our governments, to our state. So that's why has started different movements, and also this one, which is a regional one, and probably Maria will talk you a little bit more, because I gave you in the beginning the main objectives of the project and the main partners, but Maria can talk a little bit more how we want to transform this into a big network in order to work for improving the gender issues within the budget process in our state. So the definition of sex, since you all have been assigned for gender responsive budgeting basic training, from your presentations and when I saw the table of participants from each country, I understood that you all have very good knowledge about gender issues, about discrimination, about other issues related to women and marginalized group empowerment. So, however, since you are assigned to this training, we will start from the basic definitions, and we will start with sex in order to understand the concept between sex and gender. Sex refers to the biologically determined physical differences between men and women that are universal. So sex is the property or quality by which organisms are classified as female or male on the basis of their reproductive organs and functions. So it's biological and it is classifications based on reproductive organs and functions. While I'm telling you that you also should be keen when you will be part of different discussion in your state, even in public or even when you go to advocate and lobby for different issues regarding gender equality, you do not have to accept from the different speakers if they, for example, refer to women and girls as female, or to men and boys as male or masculine. I mean, because these are terms that are used in statistics. When it's come to gender, and that's why we call in all the reports now and everywhere men and women and boys and girls, because gender refers to socially determined differences between men and women, and these things are learned, are changeable over time, and have wide variation both within and between cultures. So gender is related to how we are perceived and expected to think and act as women and men based on how society is organized rather than biological differences. So this is the definition of gender, which is completely different from sex. So socially determined and constructed concepts, perception and expectations. These groups have perceptions and expectations, are not only male and female, but they have a background after. Some of them might be with with disabilities. Some of them might be with widows, for example, or some of them might be with many children. One of their children may have health problems. So are all these kind of background that these men and women are bringing that must make the difference when we think about them, when we do strategies, when we do policies about them. So we have to think about various culture, ethnicity, religion, and the changes over time, because there are many changes in a 10-year period. For example, men and women of a certain, community that we plan to do something has changed their, has changed in many things in terms of their place where they are living, possibilities to work or not working, migration or not, and things like that. So we have to take all this into consideration. That's why the budgets are in development. The state budgets, the strategies, the policies, that's why they are only 3 to 4 years and are always with action plans. And because in all of our countries, these action plans dedicated to gender equality, for example, are always without certain amount aside, are with less budgets always. So I want you to think about that, and I'm sure that you have faced this since you are representing different groups. You are facing this. Again, here you will have the presentation. So again, here you have another approach regarding sex and gender. Let's talk a little bit about gender equality, which is a broad concept and is, of course, used regularly now. In the beginning, in 95, for example, after the Beijing conference, where the women empowerment issues has brought forward, it was very difficult to talk about gender equality. We didn't have law for gender equality in our countries. We didn't have law for measures against domestic violence in our countries, which are now in place. Gender equality, there are many powerful institutions that also give their own definitions. The main powerful international bodies are UN bodies, all, with UN Women at the head, let's say. We have United States Institute for Peace, we have Council of Europe, and we have other important institutions that try to give their contribution toward gender equality. So according to the United States Institute for Peace, gender equality is reached when men and women have equal rights, freedoms, conditions, and opportunities. Equality between women and men means that all human beings are free to develop their abilities and make make choices without the limitation established by socially constructed gender roles that we talked a little bit earlier, and that the needs of women and men are equally valued. According to UN Women, equality means that women's and men's rights, responsibilities, and opportunities will not depend on whether they are born male or female. Gender equality implies that the interests, needs, and priorities of both women and men are taken into consideration, recognizing the diversity of the different groups of women and men. Well, both definitions are very good ones and are very important. But you know that the achievements regarding all the items that they include inside are very difficult, and we still need so many time to go further. And natural disasters, like the case of earthquake, for example, or the case of COVID, showed us that these are very fragile achievements that we have gone through after so many years, and they are fragile, and then the ties can be disrupted even after a very like a situation like that, like COVID, for example. We in Albania saw, but also we are updated for our countries, that the situation of violence against women has been very difficult. I mean, the life of women that goes under violence in the families has been very difficult during the period that they were forced to stay with the perpetrator. And also we have a slight slow down the number of the reports, because the people couldn't go out or couldn't report because they were living in the same house together. So this is a nightmare for women, for children, and this make us very, I mean, keen to know that what we have achieved is really fragile and can be destroyed really soon. Don't take into consideration then the countries that are in war, and the immigrants that are going from a border to a border, and that are facing, women are facing a lot of issues, including rape and sexually abused and other forms of violence. So these are the definitions for gender equity. According to UCIP, again, is the process of being fair to women and men, and at times compensating for historical and social disadvantages. According to UN, the concept of gender equity refers to fairness of treatment for women and men according to their respective needs. And according to World Health Organization, equity refers to fair opportunity for everyone to attain their full health potential regardless of demographic, social, economic, or geographical strata. I will stop a little bit here because I see that people are sending messages. Please know that I am the host and I am presenting now. After my presentation, I will be able then to respond to all of you. Albana?
We are taking care, Mirella.
Okay, you are taking
I just gave an answer to Makbule.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Don't worry.
Just if it's possible, a ke mund si ta bësh full screen për button, më kërkojnë?
No, I cannot because I don't want to. I cannot. I am afraid since I am a host. So if you can, you will have the full presentation, and just listen to me. I hope you see small, size, but I'm afraid because I can destroy the connection since I am the host and also the presenter right now. But you will have all the other presentations in full screen. So thank you. Let's continue. Another gender concept is gender discrimination. The UN Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, defines discrimination against women as any distinction, exclusion, or restriction made on the basis of sex, which has the effect or purpose of impairing or nullifying the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise by women, irrespective of their marital status, on a basis of equality of men and women, of human rights and fundamental freedoms in the political, economic, social, cultural, civil, or any other field. I hope that all of you have a knowledge about CEDAW, which is one of the most important conventions that take care about two main things. First, all the states that signed the CEDAW and all of your states that you are now listening to me has signed the CEDAW and have started since 93, 95 or 2000 to report to CEDAW. There is a ministry in charge. For example, in Albania is the Ministry of Health and Social Protection, who is in charge for, and the Ministry of International Affairs, who is in charge to report to CEDAW committee every 4 years. This is one channel. The other channel is that NGOs from every country has the right to prepare shadow reports. Based on the CEDAW Convention articles, they can send shadow reports for one article, for two, etc., like women and labor, women and health, and domestic violence, etc. So they can bring information to CEDAW committee. So when the state goes and report to them, they also, the reporter of your country also take care to take responses from the state and prepare a concluding observation, which are recommendations for the government to of our countries to realize all the things that they left undone based on the NGO shadow report. So gender responsive budgeting is one of the topics that is not mentioned to CEDAW oftenly. So the NGOs go and report domestic violence, health problems, labor issues, women in rural areas, and other political rights of women, gender quota things. But it's very rare that the NGOs. Of course, I have not read all the reports, but I mean, in our countries, it's very rare to report about gender responsive budgeting. And how these issues, these articles of CEDAW are being connected to the national strategies of the country for gender equality against domestic violence, or whatever is their term, and how they can report and match this with budgets. So this is very important, because you know that every steps that we are going to do in order to empower women and girls and to make them equal to men and boys, everything that we have to do has a budget. You all are NGOs, and you know that we cannot do any action, we cannot do any training like that without a budget. So how the government will fight against domestic violence or will empower women without a budget? So this is very important. Nowadays, it has been seen that men engagement is very critical in order to cultivate their support for gender equality. And men needs to understand how they are also affected by gender inequalities and what they can do to help. This is a gender quiz, so I will send it to you later on, or we can go through it a little bit. So women gave birth to babies and men don't is sex issue, right? Little girls are gentle, little boys are tough is gender issue, is something that we learn to the girls and boys every day about this, that girls should be gentle, should be shy, should not be open, and that's why for many years girls take time to go openly and to discuss an issue, because all the time the father, the mother said to them, stay like that, stay behind, stay in shadow, and the boys are allowed to do things out. So boys do better in science and math, girls do better in art and literature is also a gender concept. While when we say amongst agricultural worker, women are paid only 40 to 60% of the male wage, this is also gender. Budgets are not gender neutral, but gender blind. So I talked a little bit to you about how the state budgets are not taking into consideration the differences between men and women and the needs of women. Now, I mean, for example, in Albania, I don't know exactly in your countries, but Maria will do a presentation of that. In Albania, we have started to talk about gender budgeting in 2012. And with the push of the international organizations like UN Women, this kind of discussion started in Albania with a decision of Council of Ministers to make the budgets, to see the budgets under gender perspective, but still after 8 years, after some other decisions and some changes, we still are far away for having a budget gender oriented, fully gender oriented. I mean, because we have, for example, some strategies in Albania that are gender blind, and this is, for example, the strategy for agriculture. You don't see anything about gender within this strategy, and it is a very updated one. It is until 2022, and we are preparing to send information about that and how this strategy could be gender oriented. you can do the same in your countries by checking the strategies, the important strategies that are updated and are, for example, until end of this year or until 22. And these are very, very important. But you know that, for example, although that the badges don't have gender inside, they are directing to the population and to the different, I mean, aspects that these badges are covering. They somehow give opportunities to men and women, but since the people in the ministries or in the institutions don't have a clear idea and clear specific lines about gender issues, they cannot, this cannot affect women and men equally. So that's why we have to work on this. Due to socially determined roles that women and men play in society, the gender division of labor, different responsibilities and capabilities, and different constraints that women and men face, all of which normally leaves women in unequal position in relation to the men in their community with less economic, social, and political power. This, how important is the budget? And you know, taking a budget from a family perspective, if you give the chance to the men, if you give the chance to the men in the family to go to the university, and you marry the girls early, 15 years old, what you have done with the budget of your family? You have put many burdens into the shoulder of your daughter, of your little daughter, maybe this is not your case, but it is the case of like 30% of the population living mostly in rural and remote areas, but even in the urban areas, who do this. So they take off the school, the girls, and leave the boys continue, and then they marry them earlier. So because they don't want to spend, or they think that spending on girls' empowerment is not worth. Okay, since we will talk during all these days about gender responsive budgeting, I have also prepared some slides about this. So what is gender responsive budgeting? Is analysis of budget, expenditure, and revenues from a gender perspective. Disaggregation of budget in terms of what's impact on men and women, highlights the gap between policy and resources committed. Then the gender responsive budgeting can be done in national, regional, and local levels. As I said, in Albania, in the national level, we had since 2012 some decisions, but in local level we have just started. I mean, the state, the government of Albania has just started to send some instructions how they can do budgets from the gender perspective. So we as a group are right in time to push and to work on this, and to create some tools and methodologies for which you will listen during the second day of the training, how to do this. But what it is not gender responsive budgeting, it is not a separate budget for women, and does not necessarily seek to increase the amount of money spent on women. This is a tool only to promote gender equality. So that's why when we talk about gender budgeting, it is like the quota discussion. Even some members of parliament can say you that what you are doing, you are taking some money from the entire population and giving to the women. No, we are not doing that. we are like working and emphasizing the fact that the budget should be gender oriented and not gender blind, and should take into consideration all the needs of the population, which are men and women. Gender responsive budget benefits promotes government transparency and accountability, address discrimination, inefficiency and corruption, more effective use of public funds, improves policies and contributes to economic growth, and strengthens citizen advocacy and monitoring. The goals of the gender responsive budgeting are to raise awareness of gender issues and gender impact of budgets and policies, hold government accountable for budgetary and policy commitments, better promote gender equality. In order to do gender responsive budgeting, people should have gender knowledge, budget knowledge, and issue sector specific knowledge. Gender knowledge can be taken by a simple gender basic training, and budget knowledge also. You will see the budget cycle of your countries, which are more or less during these days of the training. So I'm not entering into details, but it's not only for you. This gender responsive budgeting requirements are for all the people in the governments who has to take care about budgeting, or who has to take care about doing policies, strategies, and different laws also. So you cannot prepare a law which is completely gender blinded. And you have to know budget knowledge because you need to lobby and advocate for more gender impact and gender-oriented budget, gender-responsive budget, exactly. When it's come to issue of sector-specific knowledge, you have to know, and you have to, if you, for example, some of you are taking care about environmental issues, all your actions should be gender-oriented, and all your lobby and advocacy actions should be based on this sector, specific sector knowledge, in order for you to separate, or let's say not to separate, but to enrich it with women and men different needs within this sector. If we want to work, for example, for labor rights of women, we also need to know the labor code, and we also need to know what is happening in terms of health and safety in the sector of labor. We have to know what is happening in the private sector, what is happening in the public sector. For example, how sexual harassment is in this. That's why all different studies are being done in order to understand, let's say, in the field of labor, different aspects. And then when the strategy for labor and skills, for example, in your country is being prepared, you have enough knowledge to tell them how they can orient it, and the budget that is covering this strategy, for example, be oriented with expenditures on gender issues and strengthening gender within it. Also, one very important thing for gender responsive budgeting is availability of gender disaggregated data. We all are suffering about gender disaggregated data. We all know that it's not that difficult to do this, because in all our countries is separated in different layers, let's say. I mean, from the administrative territorial point of view, that these small units in local level can take this gender disaggregated data, and people in local level, municipalities and communes can use this, and also they can bring information to the government in order to in order, somebody has the mic opened. Can use this data in order to inform the budgets from the gender perspective, and it is very important. This. Gender, the other panelists will talk about this, but the budget cycle goes through planning, execution, evaluation, auditing. In all these steps, gender responsive budgeting is very critical and should be done in time. And different budgeting models, of course, require different gender responsive budgeting approaches. The main stakeholders are always the government, lawmakers, civil society organizations, citizens. I have not mentioned here academia is very important actor because through their research departments they can do fantastic researches and bring information to the lawmakers and to the government, and international actors who try to keep accountable the governments on the gender equality issues. There are 5 approaches for gender responsive budgeting. Step 1 is to analyze the situation of women and men, girls and boys in a given sector. Step 2, assess the gender responsiveness of legislation, policies and programs. Assess budget allocation, monitor spending and service delivery, and assess outcomes. There are some key points related to the gender responsive budgeting. Analysis of budget from a gender perspective promotes more effective use of funds, need access to budget and data, and political will. Political will is very, very important. I mean, the women's organizations try to use quota for more women in power, and they have made difference, in fact, toward political will for more gender equality in every part of governance, of good governance steps. As I mentioned, in budgets, in policy strategies, women that are in parliament are very, very, for example, in Albania, I don't know in your countries, but I think it's the same situation. They are listening to us, they are organizing hearing sessions, and also they are emphasizing important things when a law comes to their hand. If they are coming from civil society, have gender perspective in their background, and have been part of gender basic knowledge or advanced training, they are very helpful to introduce gender issues when it's come to a law or strategy, etc. I had some concept about gender mainstreaming, international view, rational about gender equality, and some approaches. I'm going very fast through it. Time now is 10 to 10, and I will take 5 minutes more since then I will leave you I will leave you possibility to discuss and to have, if you have questions. Gender mainstreaming, as I told to you, with the Beijing Platform for Action in '95 has been, let's say, the concept of gender mainstreaming first is introduced in '85 in Nairobi World Conference, and then in '95 the Platform for Action is being realized and started to be like part of the discussion in every countries and a main issue in the United Nations. So you see, it's 85 and 95, 10 years after, and I want to say that the developments of gender equality issues take time, So it's not that easy. Why in 1995, after 10 years, should these things become important to be discussed? And now we are in 2020. So many years again, and we still are talking for the basic things, and not the gender equality has been so much advanced. So it's take time. It's take time because of the socially determined, what we talked about in the beginning, socially determined roles about gender. Although that the United Nations International Human Rights Declaration is been also adopted in 1948, it took so many years again for gender equality, although that this expression, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, has been there since 1948, since the Second World War. It took so many time to, and I think we will have years more to really achieve that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, because we still don't have equal rights. Okay, the time is flying. I will give you this presentation and you will see. I want to stop a little bit to gender analysis, because without doing gender analysis, you cannot do, you cannot interfere or let's say give contribution to gender responsive budgeting. Gender analysis explore women's and men's different realities and expectations, and consider effects of interventions, ensure benefits and resources are effectively and equitably targeted. Leads to effective policies and programs and efficient use of resources. So this is connected to the budgets. We don't use the resources, unfortunately. In my country, in your countries, we do not use full resources as the countries of the development countries, they are using the resources. We are not using the resources. For example, in many parts of Albania, the land is unused and nobody's working there, but is working in the land of Greece as immigrant. So why this is happening? This is very important to be raised and discussed. So equal access to resources and opportunities promotes economic development. Please mute your mic. Please check your mic, everybody. Okay. Gender analysis benefits. I talked about this. And gender analysis should be done during all the phases of the program cycle, policy cycle, including design. When we design a program, when we design a policy, when we design a strategy, we have to think about gender analysis. We have to think about different needs of men and women and what it is not achieved so far and what we need to do. So in design, during implementation, during monitoring and evaluation, we have many strategies that are being completed, implemented without monitoring and evaluation. Why this is not being realized? How we can do it better next time. So this is very important. Thank you very much for listening to me. And now we'll stop the screen sharing and we'll open for any question and discussion from your side. So anybody want to talk and tell something about your experience? If any of you have any experience with CEDAW reporting, I would love to hear. With Istanbul Convention reporting, also reporting to Grevio, if any of your organization has been included, or if you have done any attempt to to discuss in the local level or in the central level about budgets, about gender issues in budget?
Andela is asking on chat, can she
Yes.
share experience? Yes, Andela.
Andela, please. Yeah, thank you, Alda.
Thank you. Yes, Association of Youth with Disabilities participated in preparation of shadow report for CEDAW. We wrote one part related to participation of women with disabilities, about their experiences, rights. We were not doing a lot on gender responsive budgeting. We don't have a lot of experience in that part. This is one reason why I'm here. But we did a research on gender equality, participation of women with disabilities compared to men with disabilities, opportunities for employment, and generally the main concern is related to their family rights and economical rights where they are exposed to discrimination and violence. And it is not recognized in our policies. So that's one of recommendations by the Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, but also recommendations for CEDAW committee.
Okay, so have you ever seen this from the gender perspective, from the, budgeting perspective? Have you measured?
No, we were not doing that part. We were doing research on budgeting related to persons with disabilities on the local level in municipality of Podgorica, capital of Montenegro. We were analyzing local budget and planning of budget items related to exercising of rights of persons with disabilities.
Okay. Okay, have you achieved anything, in terms of raising the percentage of budgeting regarding people with disabilities, or preparing ramps everywhere in the public institutions, for example?
Not really. We are doing a lot, but I can share with you a link to our website where you can find our presentations and publications. Some of them are in English. So you can see now the fact is that budget planning is done in the way that it is more clear on the local level. What are the funds planned for persons with disabilities, but the situation is not really good yet.
Okay, thank you, Andela.
You're welcome.
You will have an email in group after this session, and then everybody there can share or can ask for different things that after you will see the presentation, probably you have other requests about. I see that Macedonia sent a message. I would be interested to find out more about the gender mainstreaming approach in each country participating in the project, and which has most advanced practices so far, especially in the planning and implementation of energy development policies. So Macedonia from Albania, Albania point of view, we don't have nothing in energy development policies regarding gender budgeting. And in fact, the entire chain or nexus, let's say, energy, water, sanitation, and sewage system, all these 3-4 important aspects are not being seen from the gender perspective. Energy and water, for example, which are very important for women, and are the women who has to bring water home. In many parts of Albania, we have them taking from I don't know in Albanian the fjala pus, nga puset si merret Albana. In English, fjala pus.
From the well.
Huh? Dwell.
From the well.
From the dwell, yeah. And these are women that are carrying the water from this dwell. So this is the situation that about energy development policies. We don't see this from a gender perspective. Energy strategy for energy in Albania is gender blind totally. So
Mirla, can I ask Octavian? Can he hear us? Octavian or Svetlana? No.
okay, Alda, they are assigned, I see. So let's continue.
Yes, okay, Mirla, thank you. I'll write to them privately.
Okay. We have from Natasha, journalist. We have a note, a message. Journalists for Human Rights work on menstrual poverty and menstrual hygiene management. I'm interested in whether any of the partners are working on this issue and whether the budget is sensitized in a municipality on this topic, and if so, in which direction. Natasha, thank you for raising this. Could you please talk a little bit more about this? Can you do that? What are you doing? Is a certain project for rural areas? Because I think that we have forgot to talk about this, in fact, in our countries, because we think that people know how to use this women, I don't know the words in English, with the development, we suppose that everybody are okay with that. But yes, you have right. Maybe there are some areas that we need to start this discussion. Thank you, Natasha. Can you say something? Please open your mic.
Yes, I can say that we more than 5 years we work on the topic of menstrual poverty, but not only in Macedonia. We work in the region, and the situation is more than we can expect it. I will give you one example from my country, from Macedonia. That approximately 15% of the women, they don't have any access to menstrual product. According to our research that we are making in the south of Serbia, they have a similar problem as well as in Albania. Also, in almost in no one school, they don't have adapted toilets for the menstrual hygiene management, nor in the municipality or the public institutions. We in Macedonia, we start to adapt the school toilet. We have now at the moment about 5 toilets adapted for the menstrual hygiene management according to the World Health Organization. But we ask our municipality to adapt almost all toilets in the public institutions and in the school, and we ask to provide free menstrual product to each girl involved in the regular education process. As I know, at the moment, in this direction work only in the UK. They have some province in the Germany, and now they have some idea to put it in the Netherlands. My question is if we as region we have a capacity, or in the country we have a capacity to work on this topic and to involve in the budget, in the gender budget, this question.
Okay, thank you. Makedonka. Makedonka. Thank you, Natasha.
Yes.
Do you like to say something about energy and your project?
Actually, this is not a project. It's rather a long-term planning policy that includes a lot of programs and related projects. But so far, in any of the policies that are related to energy or renewables, there is no distinction or at least a mention how in the process of implementation actually gender can play a big role. And especially when I'm saying this, and this is what I'm bothered with for so many years now, is that everybody is talking about engineers, and when you say engineer, you usually think that an engineer should be a man, not a woman. And then when we talk about the climate changes, how we can mitigate the climate changes through energy efficiency, through energy saving, to including more renewables in our energy mix of each of the countries, women are not mentioned at all. And if we look at the structure of the households, at least in the households that are in the Balkans and their structure, we have more women at home than men. And they're the ones that can really contribute with their activities through their education in climate mitigation activities. And not just energy efficiency of the home, but when they buy appliances, most of the home appliances, now I don't want to be gender biased or similar, but rarely I see men filling in the dishwasher and I mean taking care of the dishes afterwards. So even for the home appliances, when we buy home appliances, usually it's women that make the decisions which home appliance should be placed in home.
Deci, ce trebuie să cumpărăm acasă ca și dispozitive electronice?
Make policies that would further have a domino effect on the programs that are in place and on the projects related to different to the different topics as part of the policies, then I think we could do more with less. Because I haven't seen, we have been working on municipal budget as Energy Efficiency Center in Macedonia for 20 years now. We usually make programs, what should they do? And I haven't seen a single budget in my 20 years of work that has something to deal with gender responsible budgeting.
Exactly.
So I think that this might be an opportunity, and if this is why I asked the question in the first place, if it is possible to make a platform that will actually act together, because we are such a small as countries, and if we don't bring together our resources, there is not much that we can do. So holding municipalities and also executive governmental bodies for what they pass in terms of policies, I think that could make things different. Thanks.
Thank you, dear. Yes, you have right. You have right that since we have, yeah, we are all very near, except of Moldova, together. I mean, Albania, Serbia, Kosovo, North Macedonia, Montenegro, and we have rivers that are steaming from our countries and are being then goes to the sea. So we have, for example, for energy, somehow the same resources. So if we do something together on energy, water, etc., we can have more powerful voice, and we can go to European Commission, lobby for this, or to other countries that keep accountable our governments to and international donors to work on this direction. That's why this network is being created, and as I said, probably Maria in the beginning of our session will talk a little bit more. And the joint actions are really welcome in this network to work together toward a certain issue, to keep it and move it forward during the years of this project life cycle, and probably more. Anybody else want to say something?
Maybe me.
Yes, Milan, you are very welcome.
Thank you. I will not give you a point. It was a good presentation with too many slides, you know. And I hope you will send us today, because tomorrow I will not be with you. My colleague will be Alexandra, so I want to share with her. And about the topic, I will talk about Serbia, but I think that it's the same in all the Balkan countries. We have this situation that in Serbia that we don't have institution at all, you know. And the only political power in country is on the political parties. They make all the decisions in their interest, not in the interest of the citizens and the institutions. So in that conditions, you don't have institutions that make a budget, national or local budget, but you have a political parties on power, 2 or 3 coalition, that make a budget how they like, whatever they want, they can do. Why I say this? We must work with political parties, because we can make ourselves blind and say, okay, we don't want to see this situation. We will work on some issue with institutions on national, local level, but on the end, these people that will talk with us, they don't have power to make any decision. Normally, with my 20 years of experience in NGO sector, we people from NGOs don't like people from political parties, and for sure they don't like us in Serbia, especially representative of the political parties don't like people from NGO, but we must work closer together on this gender budgeting issue with the representative for political parties to make them more sensitive of this topic, and then we can expect maybe some result on local or national level. That's the only approach I think. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Milan, very much. Thank you. if there is not anybody that want to speak now, I think that this is the end of the first session. Please open your cameras to make a photo of the group photo. Esmeralda and Albana has done some, but many of you has cameras. So please open your camera. We will do a photo now and the beginning of the next session just to be sure. I will try to be next session with my camera, since I will work with the technical person. Okay, so
yeah, please, if we are all ready, because I have two screens of participants because we are a lot. So just bear with me 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Okay, and the first, let's do the second. Okay. Naila, you look okay, no worries. Yeah, thank you very much. Done.
thank you, Alda. Okay, now 30 minutes break, not 30 minutes anymore. At 11 o'clock, you can enter. I will leave it open and you can enter, but please be on time. The presentation of Maria is very interesting, and since you are very much interested and showed interest during this first presentation also, this is to build your capacities and work then alone or together for different issues regarding gender responsive budgeting. Thank you so much for listening to me. See you soon. Bye-bye.